Redditors who are married to Karens. How is it like? Not married to one, but my aunt is. My uncle is this soft-spoken giant. He never stands up to her in any way. Except once. At their daughter's wedding. She was about to interrupt the ceremony to close a window because she was chilly. Everyone sitting close could hear her whisper, "I'm going to do it, but I don't want to be an asshole." My uncle, in a calm quiet tone, says quickly, "Why stop now?" Almost as if his filter just missed this one. I swear I could hear my dad snort 2 rows back trying to hold in laughter. Karen was not happy. Haha, that's great. My mom's a Karen. She is self-aware she is a Karen. My siblings and I send her memes about it. When my stepdad divorced her last summer, we were all amazed he lasted 17 years, to be honest. None of us like going out with her, it's terrible, and my husband just straight up tells her, "No, you aren't talking to the manager when we go in a place." I'll tell you guys a story my step told us. They are farmers and own a small beef and beef farm. They have a store they go to for beef supplies. The owner called my stepdad and asked him to please be the one to pick up their stuff, because his staff was tired of dealing with my mom. He is the only one who went to the store for the next 5 years. I'm just wondering, if your mom is aware of her Karen-ness, how does she react to the memes and to feedback? Like that she's not welcome at stores and is a jerk at restaurants? It's interesting that you guys don't seem to be afraid to point it out to her, and yet she apparently hasn't improved. Or maybe she has, like other posters have mentioned. Blink blink blink. 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 Blink blink blink. Sending out an SOS. To the world. I'm sending out an SOS to the world. I hope that someone gets mine. Not married to one. But mum was a major Karen back when I was growing up. "Mum, can we just go?" was my favorite question. Then the apologetic nod as we leave the store. I really relate to this. All throughout my childhood it happened. I remember being an embarrassed 11-year-old walking round apologizing for my mom's behavior in stores and restaurants. It sucked. It's supposed to be the other way around. My sister is a Karen. Everyone feels so sorry for her husband. Everything is his fault. He is treated like a slave. She only addresses him by yelling. She constantly insults him. We have no idea why he hasn't divorced her or flipped out and attacked her. We have all told her to cool it, and her response is that he's just so stupid. I could go on and on. But my sister really is a horrible person. It's 4 PM. Time for your dong flattening. Yes, honey. My sister too. I had to ask her to leave my apartment once because she was yelling so loudly and I didn't want my neighbors to complain. She said it was the only way anyone would listen to her. Ugh. But her husband is a cheating alcoholic, so I don't feel bad for him. They really just make each other's lives miserable. But they love talking about their ex-life, so apparently that's solid. My mum is a literal Karen, as in, it's her name. But she's like a bizarro Karen. She will constantly ask to speak with managers and supervisors and bosses. But when said managers arrive, she unloads about the employee helping her out was fantastic, hardworking and friendly. And then she'll spend 20 minutes trying to figure out if she and the manager know someone in common. 9 times out of 10 they do. As a kid it would embarrass me. As an adult it's one of my favorite things about her. She makes people feel good about the work they do. And it's really special to watch how wonderful she makes people feel. Plus she's got long gorgeous silver hair. A Karen. My sister is a Karen. She's spent her life working with the disabled and is currently an essential worker. This is one of my favorite things to do. So many service staff get jaded because they have to deal with constant abuse. A compliment costs nothing and helps make that person feel good, which makes me happy. My husband's ex is Karen. She's a classic narcissist. When one of our feral hens started acting aggressive towards other hens, my stepson named her Karen. I accidentally ate my dog's ass last week. I was supposed to wash her, but I slipped a little. Curiously though, her ass tasted just like a goat's ass. P.S. I think that chicken's name should have been Kahan. Not the married to one, but my mom's a Karen. Literally overreacts to everything. Whenever something doesn't go her way, you guessed, go to speak to the manager or whoever is in charge. Sometimes really embarrassing to go out in public with her, because she'll just yell at the service workers for the smallest of things. Also, she has a bob cut. My mum was a Karen for a while. She literally didn't realize it until my brother and I started calling her out on it when we were early teens, because we're embarrassed. She made genuine efforts to change, and a few years later was the sweetest woman you ever meet. Just saying, there's hope. Close friends' parents are our souls, but she's really sweet. She learned bad behavior from parents, so she would be super rude when we went out, if she didn't get her way, etc. But never to friends. I told her about it, and she was sort of receptive, but didn't really get it. So I started pointing it out at restaurants. Mary, that's super rude, what the frick dude, Mary, chill sis, stuff like that. Probably super annoying, but I made my point. She very quickly realized she was being a dumb, and she changed. If someone is a good person, but they're being a dumb, it helps to have a chat first. Maybe they just don't realize it. Props to your mom. Leaving the dark ways of the Karen behind is not easy. Not married to a Karen, but married someone with a Karen for a sister. Sil is the freaking worst. I hate more than anything going out to dinner with her, listening to her order food and talk to the servers. Holidays are also terrible. She sends out long lists of expected gifts list. She celebrates every holiday and birthday specifically for presents even when it's not appropriate. Funny thing is, one time I was away from the dinner table when the bill came and Sil waited for me to return to pay the bill by actually handing it to me. She didn't give it to her sibling, my so, or pay her half, but expressly handed it to me to pay. By the way, her husband is an idiot and they are a match made in heaven. My sister and Sil are both Karens. I will show up to restaurants 15 minutes early to warn them. I tell them if it's not done to their liking they will hear about it and they will make your shift hell. I'm just there as a warning. I used to work in restaurants and those people made life hell. I do what I can to help. Generally my drinks are better and we get a free appetizer as soon as those two tornadoes walk in, all hell breaks loose. Not enough ice, table is too cold, it's too loud, etc. I also tip really big BC. I don't want associated with the two tornadoes. I love overseas so I only see them 2 weeks out of the year. So it's manageable. Tell them their behavior stinks. Correct them and apologize to staff. Assert yourself and make the world a better place. This last year I was having dinner with a friend and her husband. He's a real freaking charmer, that guy. Usually spends his days with us making snarky comments to his wife and everyone else with an opinion. So we went to this tiny local restaurant, like 50 people crammed in a living room. One of the best restaurants in town. They serve local food and people from all over the world stand in line to get a seat. It's cheap, but the best. So this guy complains about it being small and hot. He complains about the tables, gossiping about the other people around him. They could perfectly well hear him. I'm usually the kind of guy who keeps his mouth shut, because I know speaking up won't change a thing. I had a Karen for a mother, a single mom. I know when I should shut up. But I'm getting all worked up and he starts insulting his wife. People look at him from all over the restaurant. Like really mean comments telling us weird things about her personality, their ex-life. It was my breaking point. I told him to quit it and be nice. He goes all attack mode on me. So I raise my voice and tell him that if he can't be nice, I'm leaving. Look around me to the people with a kinda sorry to disturb you look and took my leave. Told the staff the food was great and that I 100% would come back, but bring better company. They look happy about that. Went to smoke outside. My partner and friend came out and I told them he's a prick and I'm not dealing with him anymore. I went home. He was not amused, neither was anyone else, but I went home, had a beer and played some video games while they had to bite their tongue. Frick that guy. Happy to never see him again. I agree. But it's worth noting that calling Karens out can sometimes make it worse. It might be productive to talk to them about it when the issue isn't at hand. They're less likely to be defensive. That said, I would also endorse refusing to spend time in public with people like this and being bluntly honest with them that it's because you're embarrassed by the way they treat people. H.O.N.E. Saint L.Y. She's perfect. She makes me so happy. So happy youffound love. Ooh. Soon. Oh my god, I'm blind. You expected the first letter to be capitalized and then your brain went, nothing wrong here. And ignored it. I am amused in a light-hearted sort of way. None of them are on here. They're on shared Facebook accounts named Karen and Dave Smith. This exploded more than I could imagine. Thanks for the awards and my first gold. I actually know a Karen and Dave Smith. She's not a Karen though. Their daughter is Ed though. Sometimes it skips a generation. I know a couple with a Karen. She blamed him for everything. The husband was, in our opinion, something of a saint. Once she broke a glass in the kitchen, came and sat back down at the table, and said that was your fault. We all just stared at her. She looked sheepish and said I knew that one probably wouldn't work. They're divorced now. I guess even spleenness has its limits. I knew that one probably wouldn't work. Feo. That somehow makes it worse. That she's aware of it and consciously makes the decision to scapegoat her husband. Although maybe she was just offending to poke fun at herself. My ex used to greedily ask for things and then say, well, you can't blame me for asking. No, I could, and you seemed greedy as it.